is green. We could try to push them.
Orcs! Xenos!
Really close. Dark just whistled over my shoulder.
Okay, they're all hit. Take it.
Take it.
For the glory of Heon Terra! So I'm back from Boilerdome, and I want to talk about why it's an event that people aren't giving enough credit to, and that truthfully is one of the most enjoyable and interesting things I've done in a really long time. Before I get rolling with this, I'm going to do something I should probably do at the start of every one of these recap videos, and I never do, which is I want to thank the people who made this event possible. So the Boiler League of Tag runs Boilerdome and runs all of the Nerf-related events on campus. And I want to thank Logan and everyone else at Boiler League of Tag for putting on this event and making a truly impressive game mode happen that changes a little bit each year, according to all reports. So, again, thank you to Logan and the Boiler League of Tag. I reached out to Logan today. I got the rules document that they did, so the actual PowerPoint presentation, and went through it, kind of made myself some notes, because I wanted to be really clear about what Campus Clash is. Campus Clash is one of 3 events that made up the event, and it's the only one I participated in, just due to the long drive and having to get up there. But Campus Clash is the most unique thing they do. If I had to put into terms what it is, it's a territory capture based game mode that has functionally some number of King of the Hill style markers that are captured in different ways each year. But this year, the way the field was split up was 2 long default spawn zones that were held by the 2 competing teams, pink and green. And then between those, 5 smaller zones that could be contested at any time. You didn't have to turn the adjacent zone to move into the other zone or anything like that. You could literally sprint out and get the one that was closer to your enemy in an attempt to forward cap like you would in a video game. It was very interesting. It was very immersive. And honestly, one of the coolest things I've ever done. The way points were captured was they had these little flags, and you'd flip it, right? It was just a PVC stick with these 2 semi-rigid flags, and you just flip it so your team was up, and then it had to be upright continuously for 2 minutes to capture. Super easy. Easy on the mod who's there keeping track of it. Everything's great. When you were eliminated, you would then be able to spawn in any location that your team controlled. So a zone you've captured, your default zone that was probably behind you, or anywhere on the field with a high five from one of your teammates. I like high five respawn so much, I almost want them to just throw out any other form of respawn, but I understand that wouldn't be mechanically balanced. I just think it's funny to have to high five people. The game went on for an hour. That led to some pretty frantic gameplay at times. And when you had a point captured, you accrued points. You accrued 2 points every minute. And that led to basically a game mode where you weren't assured of winning by just capping at the end of the game or capping off the start of the game. So it led to a really interesting kind of play. Obviously, I didn't go to Boilerdome by myself. I don't travel by myself. I have no interest in doing things by myself. So I rolled out there to see some friends. We did the Airbnb thing. It was great. This game, I was with Alex, who runs Detroit Dark Works, is one of the hosts of Detroit Dart Talk, is our collaborator on Jin. He's the guy who actually designed the monster. And he's one of the new mods for Survival Fest. Also there was Tom, also from Detroit Dart Talk. Brain of 5 Minute Respawn and Survival Fest in general, HVZ Shenanigans fame. AJ, which is one of the guys who plays with Alex and Tom and the rest of the Detroit guys. Brad Fowler of Fowler Concepts came out and played with us. And Turkey from Nomad and Johnny. They both came down and played with us too, which was great. We're going to do this recap a little differently going forward. I kind of have this like clip show thing worked out. I've got a list of clips here. And I'm going to tell you what they are, and you're going to watch them, and basically just get some gameplay in here with it. Obviously, you saw the Orcsies clip off the top, which will kind of give you an idea of what's going on.
Tag!
Good rush.
Wonderful catch, Brain.
So you've now seen 2 clips featuring a group of people that I will interchangeably refer to during this as either the orcs or the melee pile. And they were interesting. Purdue, BLT, they have some like wacky slappy melee and shield rules that I feel like the orcs with the big claws were playing pretty fast and loose with. So they allow shields with pistols, but pistols can only carry an internal mag capacity, and I think it's 6 or less. That might not be right. It might be 8, but regardless, it's internal mag only. So a hammer shot works, an outlaw doesn't, right? Okay. So these guys with these orc claws, apparently they show up every year, and I don't understand the logic behind running this like melee blockable option in Campus Clash, because it's pretty easy to tag you with your big orc claw. And as you can see in the footage, like, we tag them a lot, and they just keep coming, and they don't really make good progress. But I will say, as a 40k guy, those orc power claws were frickin' sweet. And I really, really enjoy them. And they're fun to watch, right? Guys running around with power claws is cool. But it wasn't very competitive. And I don't think everything needs to be competitive and like everything needs to be good, right? I'm the in it for the gimmick guy. But you need to at least be able to participate well enough that you're not just getting pushed over. And a lot of the time I felt bad. Like, I felt like they weren't getting as much out of the game as I was, and they weren't able to participate as effectively. So that kind of sucked.
The best part of that is that will be in my gameplay footage.
So I told you guys that was going to make that in there, right? Like, I told you it was going to be in the gameplay footage.
Let's go around this building and see what we can see. Yeah. Trade. Yeah, we were poking around the corner of the building and getting ready to go down that alley. And the melee pile came around the corner all full of piss and vinegar. And we lit them up, and then somebody goes, push! And then like 3 people ran out behind us. We were like, what are you thinking?
So this was the melee pile again, the Orcsies. And, like, we readily eliminate the melee pile, right? We get through the Orcsies. The guys who get through are the guys behind them, which I guess is a valid tactic. But they were 25 yards, 30 yards from a flag when we popped them. So they couldn't really push when they came out of that. They couldn't get after us. Again, I don't really understand the reasoning. They're cool, and like, if you hit a fly core in one of them, it would be awesome, but then they wouldn't meet the melee rules, because the melee stuff can't also be a blaster. I don't get it. So that really gives you a pretty good view of how game 1 went. The teams were, I'll be honest, a little imbalanced in our favor. Part of that is we had so many big fancy pieces of hardware, right? Just the guys I was running with was 5 Jins. Turkey was running an FDL. Johnny was running that Star Wars blaster that I don't know what he did to, but it was great fun. And we weren't really having problems with people, right? Like, if we saw it, we took it down. And it would appear from the way the map ended up, our team was doing the same in much of the field. So between game 1 and 2, they let us go to lunch, and we had a very nice lunch at a German pub. And then we came back, and they resplit the teams and shuffled things around, and they put Brad, Tom, and Brain on green and left the rest of us on pink, and there were some other people moved around. But this led to the game being radically imbalanced the other way. Like, from go, green was doing a lot better than pink, and we could not get caught up on our own. Part of it is we just had a rather heavy lunch with several beers, and none of us really wanted to play that hard right after that. So we didn't push things as hard as we probably could have, because realistically, me, Alex, and Turkey probably could have pushed a point pretty hard with Johnny with us, because Johnny could sprint in and we could, lay down a fire support base, because I was running the SBF for this game. But it did lead to my favorite moment of the day.
Screw this. This isn't going well. Let's have some fun. Everybody wait! You and me! Let's do this! You got one?
All right.
Get a phone!
How are we doing this?
You want to do 5 in turn? 'Cause let's be real, we don't have the range for 10.
Sounds good.
James,
Matthew.
let's do it.
Pleasure. 1.
2, 3, 4, 5. Bam! Mutual! Yes, sir!
Oh, yeah!
That's right. If you didn't see the little short form videos I did, I had a cowboy quick draw competition with some rando dude who was also wearing a cowboy hat. This was not the event that had a cowboy theme. And I've heard rumor that there were quick draw competitions at UMBC, but I haven't seen video of any of them. I do have video of this. I, in fact, have multiple videos of this, though Brain's video is not great. So maybe people need to take more video of things. The other thing that this led to is like wacky, slappy, sneaky stuff. So we were bored. I just had the cowboy duel, and I went to sit down, and Alex immediately responded with, "Do you want to go do sneaky stuff?" And I was like, well, yeah, let's get into it. And so we wandered off. And this is what happened.
hey, do you want to walk? And in 2 minutes, I'll high-five you, and we're just going to go around the building and do shenanigans.
I'll be your fast.
Well, like that straightaway was just like, he's got a cowboy hat.
Yep.
I got a cowboy hat.
I'm going to go this way.
We got revolvers. There's only one thing we can do now. I'm here to have impromptu revolver duels.
They see you.
Yeah, Brad is telling people.
Back up.
Here's my weather gauge.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, we don't.
That was close.
Is that balls? No.
It's darts. Only darts. No balls yet.
That hit the trash can in front of me!
So that was really game 2. Like, pink got beat, green won. It was a big deal. And honestly, at this point, if we wanted to play HVZ, this is probably the point where we should have collectively been like, maybe we should call it here. Maybe we should not play game 3. But we played game 3. And the teams got shuffled again. And I will be candid. I don't have a whole lot of footage from game 3 that's all that interesting. Because we pushed the center point off the jump, held the center point for the duration, and weren't ever really contesting. They had rebalanced the teams again, and I don't know how much they rebalanced the teams and how much, like, people just picked what team they wanted to be on now. But it led to all of our guys being back on one team, the pink team, and it was pretty wacky in that game. I don't think it was quite as bad as the first game because people understood how the game worked a little more. But I heard some complaints from one of the Chicago-based guys that there were players from the pink team just like spawn camping the green spawn zone. And there were like 5 younger guys like sprinting around the field like a rapid response force, responding to anywhere green made a push, so that point would go from being like 3 to 5 guys there to like 10 to 12 guys there, which is a lot harder to root out. And green just never got off the blocks in that game. And they took a couple points late, but they lost one like as fast as they took it, and never really made any headway in the game. So, game 3 was weird. We had dart sweep after game 3. I'm starting to think there should be like a special place in hell for people who come to major events and fire just hundreds of rounds of rival out of like your proton packs and your Prometheuses and your expanded hopper Perseus and stuff, and don't bring a Garden Weevil like fully ready to pick up after themselves. Because I'm getting really tired of picking up just hundreds of rival balls when I dart sweep, when I have fired at best like 150 darts in a given day. It's nuts. There were so many rival balls. And with the state of the landscaping on Purdue's campus, very pretty campus, by the way. Very nice. But with the state of the landscaping at this point in the year and the grass starting to get longer and stuff like that, man, I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff we didn't find. I'm sure the landscaping team is going to be finding balls and darts for the next year. Just everywhere. So much ammunition was fired. Takeaways from the event, like I said, Campus Clash is a totally different animal to any event in the country. The way it's played, the way you can interact with it. I love HVZ, right? I'm a big HVZ guy. I enjoy the concept of HVZ. I enjoy the gameplay of HVZ. If you could give me 50 guys in the hobby, right? Like 2 teams of 25 playing Campus Clash anywhere in the country, I would probably prefer that. The fact of the matter is when we were engaging with other guys who had come to play the same way we come to play, with similar kinds of hardware and similar like attention to the game, it was some of the coolest stuff that happened. That firefight where we sneak in the backside and we're exchanging fire with, our own guys and other people who are from the hobby and kind of approach the game the same way we do, was super cool. The impromptu revolver duel was one of my favorite moments I've ever had in the hobby, right? That everybody just kind of got on board with the concept that, oh, now the guys in the cowboy hats are going to have a cowboy duel. That's cool. Fantastic moment. 10 out of 10. Would do again. My only issue with the event is my issue I have with nearly every event, which is people taking it the wrong kind of seriously. There were more than a few people there who didn't want to take tags, didn't want to admit they'd been tagged, wanted to grouse about things. And you're going to have that at any event, right? This is not a reflection on the Boiler League of Tag or their planning. They did everything they could, handled everything beautifully. Great time. But it's a Nerf dart and you respawn in 2 minutes. Like, who cares? Take a tag. I got tagged a bunch of times. Like, a bunch. I'm a big dude. I get tagged a lot anyway. It's not that big a deal because it's not HVZ where, oh, I got tagged, so now I can't play with my friends because they're still humans and I'm on the zombie team now. No, it's 2 minutes. And the style of gameplay could mean that your friends already wiped the assault force and now you're just standing around chatting for a minute and a half till you put your bandana back on. Like, relax. It's cool. It's not that big a deal. So kind of in closing, Campus Clash was amazing. It was an event I've never been to before, a game mode I've never engaged with, and I loved every minute of it. I'd suggest it to anyone. I would, in fact, as ridiculous a statement as this is going to be, right, because Maryland Mayhem is a huge event, if we end up with another year like this year where they're on the same weekend and you've already been to Maryland Mayhem, go do Boilerdome. Go give this a try. Because the more of us who play it, the more likely we are to pick it up and take it other places. And much like HVZ on a different campus has a whole other flavor, a Campus Clash style game mode on another campus is going to have a whole other flavor. So, like Athens, right? OU is famous for its ability to let you do functionally anything. But the ability to play in a parking garage at OU, the ability to play on those elevated walkways at OU, and interact with Campus Clash's mechanics and the flag capture in a different way would be super interesting. We could do this anywhere. It's a great game mode. More people need to interact with it. More people need to understand what's going on with it. Because legitimately, it might be my new favorite way to play Nerf. I've been James. This has been the Talonaxe Armory. Thanks for watching.